The most disrespected, unprotected, and neglected woman in America is the black woman.
Revolutionaries inspiring the sustenance of our evolution.
I'm Charles C. Patton.
And I'm Natasha McKnight. Welcome to the R.I.S.E.
A dialogical series aimed for the essential awakening of the mind, body, and soul.
Through unfiltered edifying discussions, allowing collective and individual consciousness to thrive.
Let's get straight to it.
What does it mean to be a black woman? What does it mean to be a black woman in the United States of America?
Man.
In the 21st century.
Just right off rip, being a black woman here, now, it really means you're going to be hated, you're going to be misunderstood, you're going to be imitated, disrespected, but then at the same time have high expectations. Like, people are going to tell you that you got to look this way, act this way, and that you got to be a superwoman at all times. You have to be strong at all times. And it's confusing, because I feel like when it comes to black women, most people, they want a princess, but then they want superwoman at the same time. They want like someone who can get through the tough times and can be rough when they need to be. But then when you are like that, when you're strong, right, if you have an attitude, if you're angry, if you want to get stuff done, it's like, oh, why is she so bitter? Why is she so angry all the time?
Yeah. Can we talk about that too? Because like the notion that black women being angry and the angry black woman, and the fact that a lot of black women can't express themselves in an emotional manner, even if it's not emotional, just something that's like addressing an injustice or addressing something that they know is not fair, but then it's painted as them complaining or them having an attitude of some sort. Like, how does that make you feel, first off, knowing that, well, seeing like people like Serena Williams and other black women in the public eye that are scrutinized because they're just addressing something that's unfair? How does that make you feel?
It's honestly, it makes you scared. Like, you don't want to stand up for yourself, because you know you'll never be right when you do it. People are always going to have something to say about it. They're going to tell you that how you feel isn't justified. You're wrong for what you're saying and how you reacted to a certain situation. And it's confusing, because then it's like, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to just sit there and take it, not say anything about it? Because if I do that, then I'll be scrutinized for that. Well, why didn't you talk about this? Why didn't you fight for this? Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? But it's like, when I do, it's a problem. I can't win. It's like being stuck between a rock and a hard place. What are you supposed to do? And you take hate from everybody.
Yeah.
Like, being a black woman, it's not like only one group will scrutinize you. It's everybody.
Everybody. Black
men, white women, and then other black women. That's the part that gets me.
When other black women,
will scrutinize each other.
Yeah.
And it's like, for what? Why are we?
Well, I mean, yeah, we've talked about that before. Like, I don't, myself personally, I don't like blame black women for that,
Right.
because this is such a misogynistic society, and
Right.
like you guys are reared from the very beginning to go at each other, and almost feel like there's only one spot for
right.
one woman, one black woman, and the only way to get there, or not the only way, but the way that we as black men, or men period, want to see you guys at is going at each other, because once you guys do that, then we're entertained.
Right.
And I'm really hesitant to blame other black women for that behavior, because it's not really them when you look deep down inside of it and actually see what the society is
Right.
putting into the minds of them.
It's a condition. It's a
Yeah,
mindset.
it's definitely a condition. Yeah.
And I think what just frustrates me is just the fact that how long are we going to stay in that mindset, knowing what we know now, and
Yeah.
knowing that it's been men who have been telling us to hate each
Yeah.
other. When is that going to stop?
All
Like,
right.
for how long?
Yeah. What do you say to the people that don't see that, or choose
That-
not to see that?
And that's the hard part. Like, it's one thing if you just don't see it, but if you just don't want to see it,
Yeah.
what do you say? You can't have a conversation with people like that, because they're not going to want to hear
Yeah.
what you have to say in the first place. They're not going to be receptive to anything. They're not going to be open to your ideas. And it frustrates me, because black women, we're the strongest group of
The strongest.
the strongest
strongest
group of anybody.
Whenever you see something going down in our community, and something with injustice, there is always always a black woman at the forefront of it. There,
You save elections, everything.
They get it down. I just don't understand the disrespect that people have, that disrespect that people show for black women, for women, period. When it comes to that, because it's like black women have always been there for us, and we have destroyed their image countless times, or at least tried to destroy their image countless times, and then we go around and say, "Oh, what y'all doing?
Why are y'all like that? Why are you like that? Why are you angry? You know, why are you so defensive?" For how many years?
Yeah.
For how many years have we been just broken down time after time? But then we're still expected to pick ourselves back up,
or even to take the quote unquote high road.
Exactly.
Yeah. See, I don't.
For years.
Yeah. And still happening. Still.
And every time, and I think it's the expectations. It's like every time you still have to come back from it.
Yeah.
You can't wallow in it. You can't complain. Like, black women don't have time to complain.
They don't have.
There's too much we have to do. We can't complain about it. We can't. We really can't. And I can't. I don't understand it at all. And that's why I really need black women to, like,
stand together
as much as possible. Because all the power that we had, like, I don't understand how we're still letting people convince us that we're the enemy to each other.
Yeah. Because it's conditioned behavior. And it's conditioned so deep that it almost feels like it's a problem if it doesn't happen.
Right.
If that conflict is not there. Right. If that conflict is not there, it's almost like it's a problem.
And that's how it is in, like, the music industry.
Yeah. If we want to.
You can't. There can't be more than one real successful black woman. Nope. Somebody has to be better than the other.
Yeah.
You can't be a Beyonce fan and a Rihanna fan at the same time. It's like you have to pick one or the other. Same thing with Nicki Minaj and Cardi B.
Yeah.
You can't be fans of both of them. You got to pick one.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, why? Because how many men coexist? Yes, we have beefs that occur.
But I mean,
it's like,
very different.
How many men are in this industry?
Yeah.
And can do multiple. When people do features, when men do features on songs, there's like three, 4 of them. How many times do women do that though?
Yeah, you're right.
And it's not that there's a lack, and it's not that there's a lack of artists, because honestly, there's a lot of them. We just pick and choose which ones we want to like put up on a pedestal, because we feel like there can only be one at that level. And it's just, we can look at men and we see them and they can coexist perfectly fine.
Because we have the luxury of doing that.
Right.
We have the privilege to do that. We're the ones that, and I don't even say that but we are the ones that created this atmosphere, this culture of misogynistic behavior. We have the luxury of not being able to see what's going down, because it doesn't affect us on a negative level.
Right.
It's something that's entertaining. It's something that keeps us at a level of power, and quote unquote diminishes or subjugates the woman.
I think I just need for there to be accountability on both sides. Like, I need men to realize the part that they play in it and work on that, but I also need black women to be like, okay, I'm not letting y'all do this anymore.
Well, how do we do that?
That's the hard part.
It's just like, even because I've seen some people take notice of the culture that's been in our society for such a long time, but even still play a huge part in the violence and the destruction of black women.
And I think it's because people, go ahead.
And they don't, it's almost like it benefits them to say something about it, but then when it comes to action, they're really not about it.
That's because that's too much work.
Yeah.
It's really easy to speak on a topic and just make a post and say, oh, we got to stop doing this, or I support so-and-so, but actually putting it, that's too much. That's too much work for them. And also, people pick and choose when they want to support something or be all in for something. If you really cared about the black community as a whole, or stopping colorism, like whatever issues, you can't just pick simple little parts about it to focus on. You got to look at all of it, and it's a task. You have to be dedicated to it, and that's the thing. People don't. It's work,
and it'll drain you. I don't say it'll drain you, because it'll drain you.
It will.
It'll drain you, because if those who choose not to see what's going on, because it's there, they're just choosing not to see it. I was having a really hard time when I first got to college. Once I really started reading and understanding about black culture and American society, and how Eurocentric ideas, were infused in our minds, and how we began to hate ourselves, and how we, in the subconscious, we are trying to fight that battle every single day. And understanding that, and then knowing that, and then going through my day, realizing every little thing that's happening is so tiring and makes you angry. It makes you it makes you enraged.
To be black and aware.
It's like, come on. Can y'all just get it? And I just want everybody, and I want everyone in the black community to understand what's going on. Because once we understand it, once we know it, once we realize what's really going on, and understand the power that we have, and the power in black women, that we don't understand our power, trying to rip apart, which I will never understand that. But once we realize that, we will do and can do any and every single thing we put our minds to.
Anything. And that's why, honestly, back then, they saw it. I feel like we're the only ones who have not realized how powerful we are. Why do you think for how many years they've been trying to keep us down? Why?
But even with that argument, it's like, if we realize the power that we realize the power that we have, we know exactly how strong that we're kings and queens, we're divine beings, where we are the most beautiful beings on this planet, whatever. Say we all get it and realize that now.
Right.
The systems put in place.
Right. For
How will we ever truly get to that level, or to our liberation with those systems that are put in place to continuously keep us down, keep us at a subjugated level? What can we do if those systems are in place? How can
honestly,
we tear those systems
there's
down?
really just there's two options. We either create our own systems, like get out of it, create our own,
No.
or at some point we just hope and pray
I'm tired of hoping and praying.
that
I'm
white
sorry.
people can get to the point where they take
But they
accountability.
won't. They
and
won't.
that's why how many activists are like, why do we not have our black owned businesses? Why are we
Yeah.
not doing stuff for our own communities? Because we'll be waiting forever.
Yeah.
These systems are already in place, and they've been here.
Dude.
They've been here for so long. How long are we going to just keep asking them to? Can you give us this?
See, but no,
Can we
no,
have this?
I don't even like
we
that.
have that?
We're not asking them for
Exactly.
anything. We're not asking them for anything. I don't want white sympathy. I don't
Exactly.
want white. I don't want any of that. I don't want white tears. I'm tired of that. No.
And that's why I
whatever.
need
They
us to
can
get to a
have
point
that.
where we're like, all right, I'm done
Yeah.
waiting for you
Yeah.
to give me stuff. Why am I
See-
begging you for stuff when this country was built on the backs of my
Exactly, that's what I'm
ancestors?
saying. What am
How
I
do we-
really
right.
asking you for?
Why?
am I going to my oppressor to ask
Asking them
for help with stuff? No, if you want to come into our space, understand
Right.
what we're doing, help us in that sense, and then go back to your own. That's great, but I'm not waiting or
Exactly.
looking for you. I'm with my own people trying to liberate ourselves and understand exactly what power we're at, because once we
And-
understand that, then we can cross
And
into...
that's why they don't want us to understand it.
Yeah, because they know.
Because the minute we understand
Yeah.
that, and we collectively
Yeah.
as a whole decide, all right, we're gonna stick together and create our own stuff,
Yeah.
do for ourselves what we're waiting for them to do, it's over. It's a done deal.
Yeah.
They know they need our dollars.
Yeah,
they need our
do.
support.
But see, that's another thing. That's another thing. We are so quick to cancel
people
something,
on
but
social
we really
media,
not
but we will
canceling them.
still
We
put
still
money
put
in
money
their
into
pockets,
it. We're
buy
real
their
quick.
products, send their kids to college,
Yeah.
pay their bills,
Yeah.
buy their cars. But we can't do that for our own community.
Come on,
Like, we really
everything.
And
No,
I feel
we
like,
don't.
and I really feel like they laugh at us.
You-
They laugh
yeah,
at us.
they do.
They
I
see
mean,
us. They see us. They literally see us get online and be like, "Oh, such and such said this.
Mhm.
He's canceled. She's canceled. Da da da."
And
But
they're
we will
riding
sure
around,
go and
going
spend our
and spending their money in the
on
same
stuff
place.
they own.
Exactly. Because
And they laugh at us.
they
They're
do.
sitting there like, "Oh, y'all
yeah,
had
they
all
made
this
this
time to
noise now.
complain."
They made this noise now, but they still gonna be right
Right.
up there.
But I'm about to go
Yeah.
buy this car.
But you know, to bring it back to what we were saying before, and I remember watching this clip from Malcolm X when he was saying every liberated country that he visited or that he spent time in, the woman was educated, the woman was at the forefront of the movement, the woman was celebrated, was put at a pedestal, or was not how we treat our black women
Right.
now, how we have treated the black woman.
Right.
So, now, this did not take power away from the men. This did not put anyone at a lower standard,
Right.
or anything of that nature. I think men are scared.
Yeah,
Black
fear
men,
plays a
definitely,
huge part of it.
because I feel like we play into the role of our oppressor and think that is the only way to liberation or to freedom, by having the chains on someone, that it lessens them. That it puts them at a lower standard or a lower stature than the next one. You know what's really funny? Something that was on Pose. It was a line on Pose that just killed me. It said, well, she said, Blanca, she said, to to the boy who was on the street. She was trying to get him into her house, and she said something along the lines of I can't remember what she said at the start of it, but I think he kind of told her off, or misgendered her, or did something like when she first met him, and then he was apologizing for it, and she was like, "Oh no, that's fine. A black man or a black gay man or whatever has to feel superior to someone, and who else is that going to be than a transgender black woman, right?" So that whole notion of having to feel superior to someone,
and
is
I think
very real. Everyone has that, and I think it's important to realize just how prevalent that is,
and in every aspect of life, every little thing. Everyone has to feel superior in some way.
Yeah,
but it's like, how do we have all these things that we're conditioned to believe and think and feel?
Yeah.
Will we ever get out of that?
I don't think,
as long as it took for us to really get that in our heads for years, because they drilled the stuff in you for years and years. How do you undo all of that?
First, it comes with education. And not in the going to college, going to all that sense. No, because we already know the BS that comes with that. But just having a willingness to know, or to understand, or to unlearn what you've learned for such a long time. But I do think that it's an everyday thing. Like, you have to continuously check yourself, continuously be on the lookout, think of things critically, you got to study it. You have to study, you have to analyze what's going on in the world, because if you don't, regardless of if you see what's going on or you understand it, you're still going through it. You're still being discriminated against. You're still in that.
It's active
in that mental slavery. You're still there, and you have to free yourself. You yourself have to free yourself from that, and it's a everyday thing, every single day.
And that's how I feel about the mentality that black women are in.
Okay.
I feel like it's something we gotta look at ourselves and be like, what are we doing? When we're on TV, what are the images that we see? Like, how many times are we fighting each other?
And what do we put at the forefront?
Right.
What are we known
what are we known for right now? Like, if we list everything that black women are known for, like, how many of those things are positive and how many of those things are negative? Like, and not how we feel, but just what's being put out there.
Okay.
Like, what are we constantly being told that we are, and do we believe it? Because I feel like that's exactly what happens. We see it on TV, on media, all the time, and then we let it tell us, okay, well, this is who I am, this is what I am. And you really got to realize that that doesn't have to be who you are. That doesn't have to be your reality. Because your oppressor only wants you to be what they want you to be. They only want you to see what they want you to see. Why would they put positive stories of us and show us in a positive light all the time? Like, what would be their reasoning for doing that? What do they gain from that? Nothing. So I feel like we gotta identify that, be able to acknowledge it and be like, oh, wait a minute, and not feed into it.
I think it's important also to realize who you are trying to send this message to.
Right.
Like, are you upset? And I'm really genuinely asking this, like, are you upset that these images are being shown because it's showing black women in a bad light to white people or to other black people? Like, what is the, because okay, what I'm trying to say is I don't want our people to get in a situation where we want to present ourselves
be
in a
accepted
manner
by them,
that's acceptable to them, or to make them feel comfortable, or to make them feel like, oh no, they're not one of those.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
We don't
you're black,
like
but
this.
you're not
right.
really
We're
black.
not that kind of
yeah,
black.
exactly.
Right.
I don't want that, 'cause I don't give a about any of what
we don't care.
Yeah, we don't care.
I'm
if
done
they
trying to
us.
please.
Yeah,
That's dead.
And I think some people walk a fine line with that, and think that sometimes is maybe you have one side of people saying that, okay, well, there are people who act this way, or whose personalities are this vibrant and maybe are, you know, confrontational. That's just that's just who they are. And you have some people who are you know, quote unquote studious, or educated, or whatever. Not saying that those people who are vibrant and who aren't that, but there are multiple sides to a black woman. Right. Because black women are not a monolith, of course. We know this. So I think that that message of trying to better ourselves and better the image of black women might be convoluted in that sense of we're trying to say that we're trying to look acceptable to the white man rather than building ourselves up. You know what I'm saying? Right. So how can we tell people, or how can we get,
I feel like for me personally, it's a little bit of both. Like when I see it, I'm angry because I'm like, we're more than that. Yeah. And like little girls, they see it all the time, negative images, and then they're like, okay, well, this is who I am. This is what I need to be. And it's really them that I worry about. But it's also like, I feel like a part of me is trying to please white people. Because for so long, that's what I've been trying to. That's what I've been trying to do. Yeah. My teachers are white. I want them to be proud of me. My bosses. Yeah. White. They're white. Yeah. I want them to give me this raise or do whatever.
And this whole for another discussion. Right. But you know, the HBCUs, talking about that. Exactly. And then black businesses employing our own. And yeah, definitely.
So I feel like it's a mixture of both. Because I feel like or at least for me personally, I haven't gotten to the point where it's like, I feel like subconsciously I'll do stuff and I'll be thinking, oh my God, how are these white people?
How are they going to look?
How are they viewing me?
Do they think
I'm ghetto? Am I making them feel accepted? Right. Because it's like, if white people accept you, it tells you, oh, okay, so I'm not one of those bad black people. You know, I'm not one of the black people that they don't like. I'm the good black person.
The one that they can put on a little
exactly. And you feel like that's an accomplishment, but then you're like,
they make you really feel like that's something to be proud of.
Right. You're just like, wait a minute,
why do I care?
Right.
What's going on?
Why am I trying to please you?
Why am I exactly?
What are you really doing for me? What are you really doing for me? Like, are you for me for real? Like, what are you really doing for me? Exactly. Why am I so like bent on trying to please you? Why? And I do think like it's a mixture. Like when we talk about how we want our people to portray themselves, I feel like some of it is where we really are tired of being like just seeing negativity, and we know how great we can be, how powerful we can be, and we want to see us in those positions, but also think it is a mixture of, oh man, we don't want white people to feel this way about us. We don't want them to think this way about us. I feel like it's a mixture. And I know like I say to myself, I don't care. Yeah. I don't care what they think because I don't want to care. Right. But a part of me does still. Yeah. It does still care. Because for so long I have.
Yeah. And I've tried to. I don't like having this is me. I do not like having conversations about black women or anything to do with women and black women especially, without having a black woman there. Or not having such a grounded stance on something to do with what they need to do to do something. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think that's my place. I think it's our place to, as black men, as men period, to listen to black women and to... Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Where are we at? I feel like I'm low.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You're a little low.
Yeah.
Is it on this?
Wow. Wow. Wow, it was on mute. Let's hope you pick that up.
I can still hear you though. Okay. Or maybe it was from
yours. First one. First episode. Picking out the kinks. All right.
Oh my god.
Yeah. All right. That was a lot.
Oh my god.
You know what?
I knew we was gonna do something like that.
We're just gonna run with it. We're good. Right. Again, I don't like having conversations about.
Just recap what you said.
Okay, a little recap. I don't like having conversations about black women, or especially speaking on things that they should do, or things that I think that they should, change or whatever about how they move about the world, because I don't think that's my place to do. I don't think it's black men's place. I don't think it's men's place, period. Black women. Love them dearly. Yeah, because it's not men's place to speak on women's issues. It's when a woman is not present. When a black woman is not present.
Right.
Because I think that's one thing that we've always done.
Yeah.
And
with all groups, we
love to do that, and I don't
tell people how they feel
exactly,
and try and guess what people go through.
Yeah,
so
and it's like
have them there.
Exactly.
Ask them.
Listen.
Right, and listen.
What they're saying.
That's
don't
what it
negate
is.
Their story, or don't negate their feelings or their experience.
And I feel like when people have conversations, they go into it knowing that they want to refute whatever it like. Definitely. They doesn't matter what they say. I just know I want to refute it because we're on opposite sides. Yeah. So then it's like we just go back and forth. It's not a conversation. I didn't learn anything from you. You didn't learn anything from me, because we come into it already with guards up. Yeah. We don't want to listen because we just want to make sure at the end of it we're right. Yeah. That we make sure we get our point across, right, and that we feel like we're right, and that like I proved all your points wrong. And what did we accomplish? Like what? Yeah. What did we gain from that? Whoa. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's deep.
Yeah, it is.
And as we get older, I feel like I'm
gonna learn more.
We learn more. We realize so much more. Because I know so much more now
than you did.
Than I did. Oh God!
Like a month ago, for real.
Yeah, honestly. Yeah. Every day you learn something new. About yourself or just in general.
And I think it's important for people to feel open and invite new information in, and allow information that you thought was true before to exit out of your conscious, or exit out of your
because that's a scary thing to do.
It is like scary because it's something that you built your life on. This is what you knew to be true.
Exactly.
This is what you're comfortable
your entire
with.
life.
I've lived with this for so long.
And I think that's why it's hard for us to just get out of mindsets that we've been in, because we're comfortable in them.
Yeah, definitely.
Like we were comfortable being oppressed because we just didn't have an option but to deal with it. Right. So we learned to live with it. Yeah. And now when we get to a point where people are telling us, no, we want to get out of it, let's fight oppression, it's scary.
Yeah. And I think this is a new wave too. Yeah. This is different than than what it was in,
Yeah,
in the
it's
60s. It's different
because
than
it's
what
not.
it was in the...
It has more components to it
Yeah.
now.
And it's very nuanced.
Yeah.
It's very new. It's not
It's
tangible.
not one. It's not one
It's
issue.
not so tangible, yeah.
It's not one issue. It's not like you can just boycott this one specific
Right.
thing and then the
Yeah.
entire thing is solved.
Definitely. It's
Everything's
all connected.
layered
Everything
now.
is intertwined.
It's
Everything
layered.
is interconnected. Yeah.
You can't attack this portion without handling this one,
Right.
and then another part of it
Yeah.
comes up that you gotta talk about and address and all of that.
And
And
a
this
lot
shit
of
is
people
hard.
don't, and this is for another, but a lot of people don't even want to address racism or
Yeah.
race in conversations
Because they're like, I'm
they
tired
feel like,
of hearing
oh my
about
God, I don't
it.
wanna hear
Why are we
about
still
it
talking
anymore.
about it? Why are
Like,
we still
no.
Am I still dealing with it?
Yes, exactly. Just
Do I still
because
gotta
you don't
face
talk
it?
about
Right.
it
It
does not
doesn't
mean that it's
disappear.
not there.
It doesn't just
It's
disappear.
not going, boo boo. It's still there.
Right.
You're still there.
Like, how you tired of talking about
Oh.
something that
Does
people
not
have to
change.
face?
Exactly.
That people still are going through.
Exactly. And the only way to really get over it, in my opinion, is to continuously talk about it. Is to continuously address it, and
Right.
in every single opportunity that you get, educate.
Right.
Every single opportunity. Every single one.
That's why I don't like it when I hear like non-people of color say, "Well, I'm colorblind. I don't see color." No, I need you. I need you to see color.
I need you to see.
I need you to see
Because
it.
this is life or death here.
Right.
This is life or death. Yeah.
In one of my classes, it was actually a social work class, like, we can't treat each other equally because we're not equal. Like, we all have different needs.
Come on.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like we all say we want to be equal, but we got to understand that this group needs something.
Exactly. It's
that
not
this group
about.
doesn't need.
It's not
Right.
about equality. It's about equity.
Exactly. Exactly. And I think once people start to understand that you need to look at differences.
You have to.
Differences are important because they're there.
Yeah.
You know,
There's no sense in ignoring it.
like if I have a disability, a teacher can't give me the same test they give you.
Right. Or
You know,
even in the same manner
right.
that they give
and
it
that's
to you. or the
equality.
medium.
That's equality. We got the same test.
Right.
But you're not acknowledging my difference and how that will affect me taking this test.
And we are not saying that being black is a disability. Au contraire. It is the greatest superpower that we have ever had and ever will have.
Come on. They wish.
They
wish they were on this level.
Wish. But leaving with the last words with this.
I think if we all just start by just acknowledging how we feel on things. Like if you feel a certain way about something, I need to be able to hear you out and really listen to what you're saying to get an understanding first. Because I can't fix something or help you with something and I don't know.
You don't even know, right?
And I don't know what it is that you're going through.
Yeah.
And I really think that that's the first thing we got to start with.
I agree. And black men need to shut the hell up and listen to black women. For real. All black men need to shut the hell up and listen to all black women. And stop trying to impose our own understanding of what they're going through, rather than actually listening to their experiences and trying to understand where they're coming from without any rebuttal. Just listen and hear them. Like, goodness, stop calling them bitches.
Please, Jesus.
Stop. Makes no sense. But yes, it's our first episode.
Yeah, oh my God, yes.
Yes. We are very thankful. Okay. We are very thankful for all of you for tuning in and listening to us.
And supporting us before we even released this. So many people were excited about it.
Yes,
just the
seeing
anticipation
promos,
of it.
Everyone sharing.
The love, the support.
We're going to be talking about a lot of different things on this podcast.
Everything. Nothing's off limits.
Nothing
is.
We're going to get deeper into topics and
we want to know
ourselves.
What y'all want to talk about.
Yes, please share
stuff we deal with, stuff y'all deal with, all of
everything. Relationships, experiences in the workforce, experiences with your parents, experiences with other family members, experiences with just you living, everything. So
yeah. You can tune in on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Podcasts, YouTube, and Spotify for new and old episodes,
which will be released every Sunday on each of these platforms Natasha so kindly highlighted.
Please give feedback on this episode and follow the R.I.S.E podcast on Instagram at the R.I.S.E podcast and our personal accounts at Natalex_16. That's NATALEX_16.
And at Charles C. Patton to be up to breast on all content we are going to release for all of you, including questionnaires and polls, which will give you a chance to be part of the conversation.
We are all in this as a family, trying our best to continue uplifting
and providing opportunities for tough and real conversations to be had.
We are here to learn by sharing our opinions and listening to others.
Right, so don't think we have all the answers. We can't wait to learn more.
And if we can talk about it,
then we can do something about it. Let's rise together.
And with that, we wish you nothing but peace and
blessings,
light.
Love.
You are beautiful, you are loved,
you are powerful,
and you are divine. Love you, and go in peace.
Bye.